Hello YouTube, this is a March 2019 Pendulum Magician local tournament report as well as test hand video. This is actually my second video. The first one was pretty good. It just had a pretty glaring mistake, so I thought I'd redo it. I'll just go through my very standard Pendulum Magician deck here. If you were like me, you went and you got something very similar to what you found on Yu-Gi-Oh! Top decks. Very standard here. 3 Apex Avian, Harmonizing at 3, Desires at 3, Pen Call at 3, 3 of these guys, 3 of these guys, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2 Dragon Trines and a Foolish, 2 Jackal Kings, this guy, 2 Gate Zeros. That's pretty much it, and the Time Gazer, of course. So I'll just go through my extra deck very quickly. Again, very normal, what you'd expect for Pendulum Magicians. Just got your rank 4s here, the Norito, the Vortex package, the Synchros. And then for the side deck, what I took to the tournament yesterday, I just took for the hand traps 2 Droll, 3 Ash, an Ogre, 3 Reboots, 3 Sphere Modes, and a playset of Pankratops. So that's pretty much it for what I want to show for the deck. So I will just go through a test hand here, and then I will talk about how I did in the locals while I shuffle between test hands. So just shuffle a little bit here because I did show the deck. All right, so let's draw 5 cards, and I will just do the best that I can do with whatever situation I am presented with. All right. All right, so we got an extender and desires. Definitely want to activate this chronograph before we go into desires, so we don't banish the Time Gazer. So we're popping chronograph. I'll put this up here. Popping chronograph to special Time Gazer from the deck. And we are going into desires next, so I definitely want to shuffle thoroughly. All right, so let's go with the desires. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Draw 2 if it doesn't get ashed. All right, so we got, okay, that's a decent draw, I guess. We can normal this this Dark Worm. Did we banish the other Gate Zero, seeing that we drew one of those Gate Zeros? Yes, we did. So that's going to be a non-plus right there. So let's... I guess that is the card to normal summon because we want to save the. It's not a very ideal scale, it being a scale 5. So let's. I guess we have to normal summon this this Dark Worm, and then go into our Electromite that way. Already having used our normal summon, so we got Electromite. What are we adding to the extra deck with Electromite? We got a bunch of low scales here, so let's definitely get the Harmonizing. That's one that we want to see. Unfortunately, if we add back that Harmonizing, we'll have to use it as a high scale. So hopefully with that Electromite draw, we do also draw another high scale, but that isn't guaranteed. But we do have the Apex Avian, so at least we'll get some kind of negation on board. All right, so let's scale this Gate Zero, then pop it with Electromite, add back the Harmonizing, then draw 1. So we got another Desires. That's a total brick. So we're definitely gonna have to scale the Harmonizing. So let's see what we have in our extra deck. Do we want to use Purple Poison or Oath Dragon as the low scale? We can go to Norito maybe. Yeah, we have a chronograph, so let's use Purple Poison. So let's scale this guy, scale this guy, then Pendulum Summon 1, 2, 3. Now it's kind of doesn't really matter at this point what we get. I mean, we can get this for the beat stick because we're definitely using these two as material for Norito. So that's pretty much it. That's the board, and everything will gain, because of Harmonizing, everything will gain 100 ATK because we got a Time Gazer in the extra deck, and then we got this as a kind of to increase. Do we have any Dark Spellcasters? No, we don't. Anyway. So we got an Omni negate, a Spell and Trap negate, and this is kind of just on the field. So that's pretty much it for test hand number 1. I will now talk about my locals. At the locals, there were 4 rounds, and I'll just shuffle now. I actually saw a lot of people I knew from school there, and people that I've seen at previous locals in the same place. I ended up going 2-2. The first match was versus a total beginner. He ran a lot of virus traps, and he showed me his deck afterwards. He had 16 traps in total, and not enough monsters, but he was playing Diabolos and Lilith and 3 Layer of Darkness and Terraforming. So I was thinking at first that he was just playing something like a budget Layer of Darkness kind of thing, but it turned out he also had Lord of D in his deck, as well as Flute of Summoning Dragon. So I was definitely thrown off by that. Definitely didn't expect to see those cards in 2019. So I did end up winning, but to be honest, not too much pride is taken from that victory, because I was definitely running a pretty obviously superior deck. But he was from my school, the beginner, so I did go slow, and because it's kind of it's got to be friendly, you know, at these things. I went slow, and I introduced the pendulum mechanic to him. I explained everything as I was going through my plays. And the second match was versus a guy in a suit and tie, so I thought he meant serious business, but turns out he was using a budget combo deck with very standard combo pieces like Malicious and Shade Brigandine and Isolde and Phantom Knights monsters and Summon Sorceress. And I went first in games 1 and 3, but I actually lost the second game due to a pretty bad misplay. But I ended up winning the match because I had a pretty sweet board with a bunch of negates, definitely better than the board that I just showed. I had an Avian as well as Savage Dragon and Vortex. So that's kind of the ideal board right there that I didn't achieve in this first test hand. But he did slow play me pretty hard. He actually took 3 minutes to make his first move. So I was thinking about calling a judge, but I don't normally like to do that because I kind of just want to leave it to the results of the game itself and not kind of any technicalities, I guess. But that's enough shuffling, I would say. And let's go into test hand number 2. All right. That's 3, 4, 5. All right, let's see what we got. So we got an extender, 2 extenders, great. Foolish and Master Cerberus. So let's go with the Foolish first. We got the Harmonizing Gate 0 and the Purple Poison. We definitely want to go with the Cerberus and the Foolish to make our Electromite. So Foolish, send our Dark Worm to the grave. And we're specialing the Dark Worm from the grave while we control no monsters and searching Gate 0. So that's our board right now. Whoops, that's our board right now. Now let's take the Master Cerberus, scale it, no other Pendulum Zone card. So we're gonna pop it to search Jackal King. Now we will go into our Jackal King. So this is all like routine stuff for pendulums. We're specialing this Master Cerberus right there or right there, and then we're going to go into Electromite. So we got Electromite without the normal summon, so that's ideal. So let's get Electromite. We do have a Harmonizing in hand already, but let's get another high scale because we got a bunch of low scales here. So we can probably grab this Black Fang into the extra deck. And now we're gonna go into Electromite second effect. So let's shuffle thoroughly so we can draw 1 card. So let's scale Gate 0. And now Electromite effect, pop Gate 0, add Black Fang, draw 1, Pen Call. Okay. We can probably use Pen Call. Let's try going into, yeah, let's do that. Let's go Pen Call. discard this, I would say, because these are the scales we're going to be using. And we already have the level 7 in here, and Harmonizing will grab another level 7 from the deck. So let's try discarding that and searching maybe Oath Dragon, and we can grab the Dragon Pit or the Shianka. Let's see. Let's go with this guy. You know what? Let's get another normal summonable card. Let's get another level 4 that we can normal summon at the end, so we can go into Savage Dragon. Let's get Wisdom Eye. So we're just probably gonna still have the this Oath Dragon on the field at the end, or unless we, let's see, do we have any magicians in here? No, we don't. So Oath Dragon doesn't have any effect right now. So let's scale. Do we want to end up with Oath Dragon on the field or Purple Poison on the field? Let's just scale the Oath Dragon so we can use its effect later. Scale this Black Fang. Actually, what we can do now that I caught myself, we can actually scale the Wisdom. No, we activated Pen Call. Never mind. We cannot activate Wisdom Eye. Let's keep going with what I was doing. Black Fang, and now let's Pendulum Summon. 1, 2, 3, 4. Harmonizing effect. Let's grab another level 7. Let's get Dragon Pit. So we're gonna have 2 negates on board at the end of this with a Wisdom Eye. So we're gonna overlay into Absolute, and now Absolute and Electromite will make Zephyra, and then because Absolute was sent to the grave after it was XYZ summoned, we can get the Vortex in defense mode because it has higher defense, and now we can sync the 4-star tuner and the 4-star non-tuner into Savage Dragon. And because Electromite's in the grave, when Savage Dragon is synchro summoned, we can equip Electromite, put 2 counters on this guy, and that's our board. And now at the end of this, because Oath Dragon's in the scale zone, we can actually, because we didn't normal summon yet, I forgot about this. We can take back this. We can go into another synchro or another rank 4. Let's grab this Harmonizing. Knew there was a point to this Wisdom Eye. Now we can normal summon the Harmonizing, and now we have a lot of options for this third zone here. We can go to the Dweller, we can go into Time Star if we really want to, Tornado if we want to do either of these 2 guys. What I would probably do is that. That's what I would do, or Tornado. But that is the board, and that's a great board. That's a really solid board. You can't argue with that. You can't sneeze at that. So we're going to do one more test hand here, and I will just finish up my report on the tournament while I shuffle. So, matches 3 and 4 were very competitive, or in comparison especially to matches 1 and 2. I played in both 3 and 4. I played True Draco, both matches. And Rivalry of Warlords is actually a serious threat to Pendulum Magicians, because in the 3rd match, he locked me out of anything but spellcasters. So I believe Black Fang was the card I had on the field, and he activated Rivalry. So I couldn't summon anything but spellcasters, and he did have a what I believe is Dynamite Knight. I forget which one has 2500 attack, which True Draco has 2500 attack, but he also had Diagram on the field, so it got boosted to 2800. So I ended up having Jackal King and Oath Dragon on the field to go into Norito. But because of his field spell, he ended up having a higher ETK even than my Norito, which is a spellcaster, so I could actually go into it with Rivalry. But both games, he actually won game 1 and 2 in match 3, and he just kind of shut me out. Pretty rough defeat, but had to take that L. But in match 4, I lost the first game, and then I won the second game. But in the second game, I sided in Red Reboot, and I sided in Reboot 2 for match 3. But I didn't see him, and I didn't see him in game 2 of match 4 either. But in game 3 of match 4, sorry, getting confusing with the numbers here. Hopefully I didn't confuse myself. In Game 3 of match 4. I actually did see the reboots, but I drew them too late. He ended up activating Monarch's Erupt before I could activate any of my reboots. So I kind of bricked, and I saw 2 reboots, unfortunately. So I ended up losing that match as well. Keep dropping cards. So that is pretty much the tournament report. Was happy to go, but it definitely makes me want to build a True Draco deck, because now that I have those demises, maybe you've seen my Tellarknight Demise variant. I do have a playset of Demise now, so definitely could build that True Draco deck with less effort now. So I'm going to go into the third test hand. First one was decent, not too good actually, but the second one was better. So let's see what I can do with these 5 cards. All right, so we drew 2 cards that dump. That's not necessarily the best at all, but we do have another extender besides that. So let's activate one of these. Let's go with the Dragon Shrine and dump Dark Worm. Now we're going to special the Dark Worm and search gate 0. Going right back in. This is our hand right here. Let's go with the Master Cerberus and pop it to search Jackal King. And we're popping Jackal King to special this guy from the extra deck. And this is our hand. So let's see what we want to add with Electromite. This is dead. We got 2. Let's grab another Magician so we can use it with Wisdom Eye. Let's go with Oath Dragon. Because we already have the Harmonizer. We don't need to add that. But that's definitely one that we would add if we didn't have it. So we're going to scale the gate 0. Sorry, this is in the extra deck. This is in the extra deck. We're going to scale the gate 0, and then add back this Oath Dragon, and then draw 1 card because of Electromite. Oh, good. Not a bad draw. That kind of makes up for the mitigates the damage or the loss of advantage or I guess resources that we have by opening 2 Dragon Shrine Foolish kind of things. So let's go with the Desires now. Doesn't get ashed. That's decent, I guess. Now we're going with Oath. And luckily we have the Wisdom Eye. We don't have any of the more high scales, but we can pop the Wisdom Eye, put Black Fang, Harmonizing, or Dragon Pit. So let's go with that. So now we are specialing, or we're Pendulum Summoning. So we definitely want to get that on the field. At this point, let me think. Definitely Harmonizing. I would say definitely this guy. Let's see. Do we want to go into... I mean, this is obviously a little out of order here that I wouldn't be checking my banish pile. But let's go with... because I am making a video. A little distracting, to be honest. But let's go with a Wisdom Eye. And maybe a Purple Poison here. And now Harmonizing will special from the deck. Let's get Dragon Pit. So this is decent. This is decent. We haven't normal summoned yet, so we can probably get 3 extra deck cards, hopefully, on the field. So let's go into Absolute. Same thing as last time. Absolute and Electromite. Link rating of 3 total to make Zephyra. Now let's go with our Vortex. So now we can go into Savage Dragon. Oh, what do we want to do here? Actually, if we make Savage Dragon, what we're going to end up having is Purple Poison on the field by itself. But if we don't go into Savage Dragon, if we make Dawn Dragster instead and an XYZ and a rank 4, then we can actually get 2. So hopefully you see what I'm talking about here. We can use these two for Savage Dragon and get Electromite equipped to it, but then this will be left here because we can't normal summon this to go with this. It doesn't do anything. What I'm going to do instead is overlay these two, and I'm not going to go into Savage Dragon. I'm going to go into Tornado. This could be Dweller, to Tornado or Dweller right here, and then I'm going to normal the Time Gazer, and then use these two for a level 7 Synchro. And that is the board. That's not too bad either. Went with the Spell and Trap Destruction and the Spell and Trap Negate over the Omni Negate. Still got the Omni Negate with Vortex, and of course Zephyr has that that graveyard kind of thing where if extra deck cards are sent to the grave, you can special, or you can add from grave or extra deck, I believe. And that is pretty much the turn right there. I'm happy to say that I did better than I thought I would in the locals, and I made boards like this pretty much. And this was a longer video because I did 3 test hands, but thanks for watching the video. Again, this is March 2019 Pendulum Magician, test hands, and local tournament report. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.